Hi, I'm Planned Parenthood's Kate Smith, and this is State of Abortion. For our first episode, we have an incredibly special guest, our very own Alexis McGill Johnson. She is the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood Federation of America, as well as the Planned Parenthood Action Fund. And Alexis joins me now. Alexis, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Kate.
Thank you. So, we have a lot of viewers and our audience members who are not as in the weeds as many of our supporters are. So can you start by giving us just a top line overview of how much things have changed in terms of abortion access since the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe versus Wade?
So we are 3 weeks to the day that the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. And in just 2 weeks alone of that, 13 states had abortion bans go into effect. We estimate that within the coming weeks, months to a year, that many more states will follow suit. We are seeing an incredible surge in states that still have ability to provide care, which means that people are now being forced out of state to get the care that they need.
Can you contextualize how much of a disruption this is to the healthcare system?
Yeah, I mean, look, essentially what we are looking at is, a world in which 26 states in the coming year will ban access to abortion, which means that 24 states will need to absorb the nation's abortion care. We're asking, half of the country to absorb all of the country's needs. And so what that means for disruption is that people who thought they could get access in their own state are now going to other states where it is legal, which is displacing those folks. And it means they are traveling further and further to get access to care. It also means it's disrupting healthcare generally. And so medical providers themselves are wondering, what can I do legally in order to provide care for my patients in the best way possible, while also, maintaining my license and own personal freedom.
Some of the reading I've done, it seems like as many bans as there are just as many legal fights happening. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, first and foremost, we are out doing everything we can to maximize care. We are delivering care, working with affiliates, independent providers are providing care, abortion funds. We're working with lawmakers to do everything we can to ensure that abortion remains legal in the places where it can. We have maximized our capacity at health centers and, all sorts of things. So on the care side, that work is ongoing. But on the accountability side, we also need to make sure that work is going. So in every state where they are introducing a ban, we are right there litigating and fighting that ban. We are right there kind of ensuring that we are going to hold those people who are introducing these extreme laws accountable. So we are litigating, we are mobilizing, you've seen people fall out into the streets during the decision and after the leak, because we all knew that people would be outraged to find out that the court was willing to overturn 49 years of precedent and take this right away. And so I think what's exciting about this moment is that we're seeing a lot of courage, and courage is contagious.
You mentioned the outpouring in the streets, and that's something I've seen firsthand, not only the day of the leak, those incredible May 14th activations, the day of the decision. There has been so much outpouring, but I think, and you and I have talked about this, when I've been at those protests and those activations, one thing I've noticed and it struck me is that the tone of them, there's kind of a hope there. People aren't defeated. They really aren't. That is not at all the vibe that I get from these. I'm curious, is that something you've experienced?
Yeah, you can't build a movement without hope, right? Every movement has come together with the strong belief that coming together would lead to change, right? Momentous change, both from a cultural standpoint as well as from a policy and political standpoint. And so I think that's what you're seeing.
We know this isn't an issue that's going to be solved tomorrow or next week or even next month. How do we keep up our hope in the face of such a long road ahead?
So I believe that hope comes from doing, right? I believe that, every movement that has ever been fought, particularly for equality and freedom, has had a very long arc. And so I think we prepare ourselves for the long road by recognizing that nothing happens overnight, but you maintain your hope right? You let hope survive because because you're treating it like a daily practice. In the same way you want to see progress, you have to have hope as that orientation, right? That orientation that if you keep doing the work, something will get better on the other side.
How long of a fight are we looking at?
It certainly may be more than a generation, honestly, Kate. I think when you think about the fight for freedom, it's hard to put a time bound on it. I say that not to be daunting. I say that to say that freedom is also a daily practice, right? That movements have to be made relevant for every generation. And when you take your focus off of the things that keep you free, is when the forces come in to take that freedom away. So the fight is every day, and it is for as long as we are around. And the fight is really intended to be passed down to generations, so that we are saying no more on our watch, right? That we don't have to settle. Like, we will fight to settle it, but we will have to fight every generation to resettle it.
Alexis, thank you so much for joining us. I know that I feel a little bit more inspired having just spoken to you, so I really hope that a lot of our viewers and our audience can feel the same thing. And I love the idea of hope as a daily practice, and I'm definitely going to be thinking about that moving forward. Alexis, thank you so much.
Thanks, Kate. Great to be with you.